Good morning. Today's a good day for the city of Fall River. We're here to unveil two new initiatives, the COVID-19 Homeless Overflow Shelter and the Homeless Street Outreach Program. Both of these two programs were instituted to help our homeless population and to respond to the coronavirus pandemic. Today, we're here at Solomon's Porch, which is the new home of the city's overflow shelter. All of you are well aware of the overflow shelter has never had a stable home. We would move the shelter every 2 weeks from three different buildings throughout the city. Transportation was an issue, food service was an issue, and volunteers was an issue. We now have a permanent home. This is really a big game changer on how we service the homeless population. The investment in this building will provide great future benefits. And this would have never happened if it weren't for the leadership of Pastor Tom Mello, Pastor Brian Weeks, Lisa Mello, and Pastor Steve. I met these individuals, mostly Pastor Tom and Pastor Brian, about 15 years ago. They came into my office and introduced themselves and asked them, what they could do to help the city. And I get that a lot. People come in, ask what they could do, you see them a little bit, and then you don't see them anymore. But not with these two gentlemen. They just started popping up everywhere. They were at our homeless coalition meetings, any kind of food drives we had, any kind of homeless activities we were doing, and they just kept with it. And they've been with the overflow shelter for many years. Two gentlemen that I really look up to. They have tremendous hearts, they care. So I'd like to have Pastor Tom Mello come up, or Pastor Brian Weeks, or Pastor Steve to say a few words.
Good morning. What you are seeing here is what we feel is community is supposed to be about. I got to read off this name of people that have been involved in this project here. Because there are so many. First, Mayor Coogan and his administration have been amazing to work with. Bay Coast Bank has been amazing for us right from the beginning. Master Builders Ministries, Calvary Temple, Christ the Rock, City of Refuge Church, Victory Chapel, Word of Life Church, New Life South Coast, His Providence Church, Grace Gospel Church, Grace Bible Church, Bethany Gospel Church, New Hope Christian Church, St. Patrick's Church, Brian Weeks Ministries, Roberta Hurt with Berkshire Hathaways, Olympia Construction, Committo Electric, Mello Electric, Mona's Plumbing, Foston Plumbing, American Dryer, Lopes Construction, New England Recycling, Fall River Community Development, Fall River Fire, Fall River EMS, Fall River Police Department, Fall River EMA, Fall River Building Department, Fall River Department of Health, People Incorporated, Gates of Hope, Fall River Food Pantry, First Step In, Seven Hills, Attorney John and Jill Zajac, Local Computer Store, Highland Restaurant Supply, Footnotes, and our volunteers from our church, our city, and the surrounding area. I realize that is a long list, but I wanted you to all understand that this is what community is all about. We are all about putting back into our community and making this place better. And the Timao Center, which we are opening for the overflow, is all about honoring people right where they are and assigning value. And with what the city has done here, and Bay Coast Bank and so many others that I read off on this list, has given us the vehicle to take this forward, and we're so thankful for it. So thank you all for being here.
Thank you, Pastor Tom. These, like I said, is two initiatives, and in conjunction with this new shelter, the city has partnered with the Fall River Police Department and Stepping Stone to institute the very first city-funded homeless street outreach program. This program consists of two individuals, one working for the Fall River Police Department and one working for Stepping Stone, to outreach to the homeless community. I'd like to ask Police Chief Jeff Cardoza to come up and say a few words. This was really a brainchild of the chief's. He's the one that brought it to our attention and really said that it could make a difference out there in the community. So I'd like to have the police chief come on up and say a few words.
Good morning, everyone. First of all, I'd like to thank the mayor and Mike Dion from Community Development for being part of creating Nicole Fontaine's position and finding the funding. Like any other project, the funding is probably the most difficult thing to come up with, so we certainly appreciate you getting that done for us. Like every other law enforcement agency in this country, we realize, you know, the officers on the street realize that we don't often have the expertise or the capabilities to deal with some of the issues in the city. So this was a way for us to get a better understanding and work in partnership with somebody who has that expertise and to better address not only homelessness, but those people that are struggling with you know, drug addiction. It's extremely important to us. So I'm extremely confident that by doing this, we'll be better able to serve those types of populations. And I think the next step, and the mayor and I have had some conversations about it, is I'd like to get some folks in the building working with us, partnering with us, being embedded in our building that you know, have expertise in dealing with mental health issues as well. So we'd like to see some social workers. So thank you. Thank you to everybody that supported getting Nikki to work with us. And certainly thank you. We look forward to also having this facility to help us with the overflow issues that the officers, you know, doing the overnight shifts are dealing with. So thank you.
Thanks, Chief. Again, these two initiatives would never have been accomplished without the support of Stepping Stone. The city has had over a 30-year relationship with this organization, and they've always been there to help, and they've really been the driving force to assist our homeless population. They got an excellent staff over there with Annabelle Azevedo and Rosa Medeiros. And I'd like to have Rosa come up and say a few words. Executive Director Kathy Clark couldn't be with us here today, but Rosa is the Director of Homeless Programs for Stepping Stone.
Thank you, everyone. This is such an honor. I've been working with the homeless population with a lot of these gentlemen and these wonderful people up here for many years. We started here in 1996, and in 2003, we started operating the Fall River homeless shelter, the First Step In. That has been the most rewarding thing to do here in this community and serve the homeless population. We continue to grow, and we continue to work with everybody and all the wonderful people in this community. I don't even live in Fall River, but I love Fall River more than where I live, I have to say. And the reason I do is because of community. And when Tom spoke about this effort, taking a community, this is exactly what's happened. And the outreach program is going to be just what we need to be able to go out into the community with experts like Nicole and Mark. Mark is also, his roots are all from street outreach and reaching out to youth and different individuals with different barriers in life. And I'm so excited that together we're going to be able to make a difference in this community. Not only do we have a shelter that's got a lot of capacity year-round, but we also have a permanent home for the overflow. It was so challenging every year for Tom and his wife and the congregation and for all the churches in this community. It was so challenging to just group it together, get enough volunteers. This is such a big thing. And now having the outreach to be able to go out there, meet those guys, bring them in, get them to treatment, get them to to a place, a warm place, a place where they can eat, a place where they can worship, a place where they can rest and heal and maybe get a home. So we're really excited. We have a van ready to go. We have two wonderful people that have passion, and I can't even express the excitement because we now have a lot of tools that we didn't in the past. So we're going to be able to have a great impact on the homeless population in this community, and it will be a community that gets it done together. Thank you.
Thanks, Rosa. There's a couple other people that deserve to be recognized also. which is part of the staff of community development, which is Erica Moniz, our assistant director, and Ian O'Connor, our director of compliance. They've worked really hard on this initiative. We also have the fire chief here, and John Lynch, who's always been supportive, and our EMA director, Richard Aguiar, who we work very closely with when we're having issues in terms of homelessness. You know, over the past couple of months, I've been part of several press conferences, and you know, I keep saying the same thing. Projects like this don't get done without great leadership. And I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about Mayor Paul Coogan. I have the privilege to work with him every day, and I'm kind of in awe of his dedication and concern for city residents. I think he hates when I introduce him because he's a very humble man. You know, Mayor Coogan has a genuine concern for the less fortunate in our community. I know this because of his priorities. You know, I work with him every day, and that work doesn't stop at 5 p.m. He calls me a lot of times at night, you know, asking to get some help for a homeless person that he just met, you know, on the street, or a former student of his that's in an unstable situation. You know, I was thinking about asking him if I could get paid hourly instead of salary. All kidding aside, though, you know, really, it's inspiring to work with him. You know, last week we went from handing out COVID pamphlets at housing authority properties to getting turkeys for veterans. So, with all ado, I'd like to have Mayor Coogan come up and say a few words.
Well, you know you can't follow introductions like that, so you do the best you can. This is Mike's and Tom's brainchild. We came down here was it last winter? I mean, I don't remember when it was. I just got in office, and he showed me the storeroom in the back that looked like a real mess, and that was going to be the shower, and the kitchen was over here, and we're going to put a laundry. And I thought they had been by Northeast Alternatives before I got in the car with them, so I was like, you sure this is what we're going to be doing here? But needless to say, when you walk around today and you look at the facilities that we've put together for some of our most needy residents in Fall River, this is what Fall River is about, not all that other nonsense we hear about all the time. We work together, we see a problem, we fix it, we go to the next one. And problems do come up in this job, and they come up all the time. And I can't do it alone. It's this whole crew, the chiefs, Mike Dion, his team, Stepping Stone. And guess what? We sit at meetings. We don't always agree. But we get through this one, and let's go to the next one. And that's what a city's about. Fixing problems, making it a better place to live. But I do have to acknowledge one other person. The city council and I work closely on all these kind of projects, and joining us today is a good friend of mine, Linda Pereira. She came down to make sure she took a tour of it so that when she's out advocating for the city, she can tell people what she's seen down here and what she knows that this place is about to help others. And she'll be at the next one in a little while, so I do appreciate all her help. But again, I can't thank you enough for coming down today. This is going to be a big feather in the cap for Fall River, and I know this winter's going to be a lot better for some of our needy people because this place is here. Thank you very much. And again, I got to thank Mike Dion. He's the driver in things like this. He'll call me into his office and say, I got something for you. And then he slides the paper across the desk, and my eyes start to water, and my hands are trembling. But 99.9% of the time, he's right. So I appreciate all Mike's help, and everybody here today has a piece of this, and thanks for all your support.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. That's 100% of the time, not 99.9, 100% of the time. Again, you know, I want to thank everybody for coming out today. Please take a walk around, take a look at it. It's really a big improvement, and like I said, it's really a game changer for the city. So thank you for coming out and take a tour. Okay, thank you. Thank you.